What's going on, guys? It's Anthony Bruno, and there was some massive news in the NFL as the quarterback changes continue. Carson Wentz, the guy who was supposed to be the franchise quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles for years to come, has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to go over the details of the trade and let you know what this means for the Eagles and Colts moving forward. So let's go. Before we start, I just want to let you guys know about our awesome giveaway at the end of the month, where we will be giving away $500 cash to 3 lucky subscribers. Yes, $500 cash to 3 of you. This is our way of giving back to you, the fans of TPS, who make all of this possible. To enter the contest, all you need to do is subscribe and have your notifications on, and you've got to be commenting on our videos regularly throughout the month. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you can watch our videos as soon as they come out, and make sure you smash that like button as well. If you're already subscribed to the channel and have notifications on, then all you need to do is like and comment, and you'll be automatically entered into the random draw. So good luck to everybody. Alright, so first let's go over the details of this move. The Philadelphia Eagles have traded quarterback Carson Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2021 third-round draft pick and a conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first-rounder based on Wentz's playing time. Wentz needs to play at least 75% of the Colts' offensive snaps for the 2022 conditional pick to turn into a first-rounder, but the pick could also become a first-rounder if Wentz plays at least 70% of the snaps and the Colts reach the playoffs. But the worst the 2022 pick can be is a second-rounder. The Eagles and Colts spent much of the last 2 weeks trying to finalize the trade, according to ESPN, which cannot be officially processed until the new NFL year begins on March 17th. And check this out, because this is absolutely massive. The Eagles will take a $33.8 million dead cap hit, the largest dead cap hit that any team has ever taken for a player, while the Colts will assume the balance of Wentz's $128 million extension, including the $10 million guaranteed roster bonus due on March 19th. You can bet the Eagles were definitely trying to get a first-round pick for Wentz, just like we saw in the Matthew Stafford deal, how he was traded for 2 first-round picks. And if Deshaun Watson actually gets dealt, you can guarantee first-round picks are going to be involved in that trade as well. So it seems like the Eagles had to settle for what they could get here, but it's still a decent return considering how bad Wentz was last season. First, let's go back to the beginning with Carson Wentz to see how this all started. The Eagles drafted him 2nd overall in 2016 out of North Dakota State, and Philly traded 5 picks to move up in the draft that year to take Wentz. So they were obviously very high on him as a prospect. He had a big arm, was athletic. He looked like he was going to be a really good NFL quarterback. So his rookie season was okay, was nothing special, but then he really broke out in 2017 and had an MVP caliber season, leading the Eagles to an 11-2 record after 13 games. He threw 33 touchdown passes, but then everything went up in smoke in Week 14 when Wentz tore his ACL against the Rams. He probably would have gone on to win MVP that season, so it's unfortunate how it ended, but we all remember how awesome he was that season. The Eagles were incredible on third down. Wentz looked like he was the best playmaker in the NFL. He was awesome. But what happens, right? Nick Foles comes in, takes over for Carson Wentz, and Eagles fans are thinking, okay, we just lost the potential MVP of the league. Nick Foles is coming in, didn't really know what to expect, and all Nick Foles did was lead the Eagles to their first Super Bowl in franchise history and first championship since 1960, beating Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Foles threw for 373 yards and 3 touchdowns, winning Super Bowl MVP. So after all those fears about how the team would look after Carson Wentz went down, Nick Foles just leads the team to the Super Bowl. Unbelievable. So in 2018, Wentz He comes back from injury. He goes 5-6 in 11 games, throwing 21 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And then he was dealing with a back injury as well, so it wasn't a very good season. Then in 2019, Wentz signed a 4-year, $128 million extension with over $100 million guaranteed. And he was pretty solid in 2019. Wentz went 9-7, throwing for over 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. And his receiving core was a mess. They had all kinds of injuries. They didn't even have a legit #1 wide receiver. Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert actually led the team in receiving yards. They were 1-2 in 2019. And the Eagles ended up losing on Wild Card Weekend to the Seattle Seahawks. But then 2020 was an absolute nightmare for Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Wentz regressed and had the worst season of his career. Okay, he went 3-8-1, completed just 57% of his passes, threw 16 touchdowns, and led the NFL with 15 interceptions and was sacked a league-high 50 times. Now, some of that you can blame on the offensive line, but you can also blame a lot of those sacks on Carson Wentz, who held onto the ball a little bit too long. His decision-making went totally downhill. He just did not look like the same quarterback that we saw back in 2017 and even that we saw in 2019. So things obviously took a turn for the worse, and the Eagles, of course, turned to second-round rookie Jalen Hurts, who wasn't great, but at least provided a change and a spark to that offense because they desperately needed it after Carson Wentz was so terrible. All right, so saying all that, we all know how bad Carson Wentz was last season, but what kind of impact is he going to have on the Indianapolis Colts? Because looking at this looks like an incredible situation to land in. I mean, you could not have picked a better situation for Carson Wentz to try and revitalize his career. So number one, he reunites with former Eagles offensive coordinator Frank Reich, who is obviously now the head coach of the Colts. And I've said this in a previous video, Frank Reich and Chris Ballard are one of the best head coach GM combos in all of the NFL. So just that alone makes this a very good situation for Carson Wentz. And then, of course, the Colts have an amazing offensive line led by Quentin Nelson, one of the best in the game. And then you take a look at their skill position players, Jonathan Taylor, one of the best young running backs in the NFL, Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman at wide receiver. I know T.Y. Hilton is an unrestricted free agent, so it remains to be seen what's going to happen with him. But then you look at the defensive side of the ball as well. DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard. So they got studs all over the field. There is absolutely no excuse whatsoever for Carson Wentz to fail in this spot. If he fails in this situation with this team, this dude is going to be in the XFL before we know it. All right, so now it's time to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. We all remember Donovan McNabb, who had a very successful career in Philadelphia. He never won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, but he at least got them to the big game, and he was a pretty good quarterback in the NFL. And I think the Eagles looked at Carson Wentz and they thought, this dude is going to be our next Donovan McNabb. He's going to be here for a decade plus. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to surround him with all this talent, and everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows. But clearly, that did not work out whatsoever. And I think they saw signs of this when they drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. And now this is Hurts' team. And according to ESPN, while the Eagles are likely to turn to Jalen Hurts as their starting quarterback, they also intend to bring in competition for him. The Eagles' starting job is not expected to automatically go to Hurts. Well, right now, there is no other quarterback on the roster who can even remotely challenge Jalen Hurts as the starting QB. And let's just talk about how Hurts played last season. So he went 1-3 in 2020, completed just 52% of his passes for over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. But we also saw the damage that he could do on the ground. He ran for 354 yards and 3 touchdowns, so the athletic ability is clearly there. He showed signs that he can actually be a pretty good passer as well at this level. So all in all, it wasn't a fantastic rookie season by any means from Jalen Hurts, but he did look pretty good. And then when we think about the Philadelphia Eagles, it didn't work out with Doug Peterson. They fired him. They bring in Nick Sirianni as head coach. And Nick Sirianni did not give Eagles fans a great first impression from his introductory press conference. If you haven't seen this yet, you got to check it out.
Because when we can put that, when we can learn our system and we can get good at our system, less thinking equals talent take over.
So yeah, if you're an Eagles fan, I probably wouldn't have the utmost confidence in Nick Sirianni after hearing him talk in his first press conference. But look, he's going to begin this journey with Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are a smart franchise. You know, we saw a lot of the great things they did the year they won the Super Bowl. I'm sure they're going to figure this out moving forward. It's probably just going to take a little bit of time, but I have faith that the Philadelphia Eagles are eventually going to figure this out and become a relevant franchise again. I also wanted to let you guys know about this as well. So if we go back to the 2016 NFL Draft, no quarterback drafted in the first round is currently with the team that drafted them. So let's take a look at the quarterbacks from the first round. Jared Goff went first overall to the Rams. He obviously has been traded to the Lions in the Matthew Stafford deal. Then we have Wentz, who went second overall. He's now with the Colts. And then the 26th overall pick, Paxton Lynch, who was taken by the Broncos. That was an absolute disaster. He is now out of the National Football League. And we can go down even further into the second round. The 51st overall pick, Christian Hackenberg to the New York Jets. That was also a stone disaster because he's also out of the National Football League. And check out this tweet from Field Yates. This is absolutely incredible, okay? He goes, and with the trade of Carson Wentz, there will now not be a single QB drafted in the first round from 2009 to 2016 that is still with his original team. 0 out of 22 total. That just goes to show how difficult it actually is to pick the right quarterback in the draft and have that guy go on to have a successful tenure with your franchise. We see it over and over again. Guys that are great in college, that are first round picks at the quarterback position. We all have high hopes for them. We all think they're going to be great in the NFL. But most of the time, a lot of these guys just don't work out. So it remains to be seen how the career of Carson Wentz is going to go from here, but he has landed in a great situation with the Indianapolis Colts. And like I said, if he fails with the Colts, with everything they have going on, then I don't know what else to say. That dude is going to be a backup or find himself in the XFL or out of the league or something, because you cannot fail in that situation. And as for the Philadelphia Eagles, listen, Jalen Hurts is a solid quarterback. We see it nowadays. You need a dual threat quarterback, a guy that can get it done through the air, who can also make plays with his legs. So I have confidence in Jalen Hurts moving forward. I think the Eagles need to do a better job surrounding him with more talent on the offensive side of the ball, but we'll see where the Eagles go from here. That does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let us know in the comments what you think about this Carson Wentz trade and whether or not it makes the Indianapolis Colts Super Bowl contenders. And then on the other side of this, let me know what you think about the Eagles moving forward with Nick Sirianni as the head coach and Jalen Hurts as the starting quarterback. And who knows, maybe the Eagles actually are going to bring in another quarterback to compete with Jalen Hurts for that starting job. So let us know what you think. And if you haven't done so already, please hammer that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you know exactly when we're dropping some new content. So that does it for this video, and I will see you guys next time.